Good afternoon. Welcome to today's live experience, Magical Kenya. I'm so happy to be hosting today's session, but before we get to that, let me just introduce myself for those who might not be familiar with who I am. My name is Paul Brancan. I'm the Director of Communications and External Affairs at PATA, and I will be your host for today's live experience of Magical Kenya. We have a great program ahead of us today. Before we get to that, I just want to go through a couple of quick housekeeping notes for you today. So we will have opportunities for Q&A. Please do submit your questions using the Q&A function. There is a chat function, but only use that to engage with other participants or engage and say hello, introduce yourself, where you're from. But don't put any questions there. Use the Q&A function. There will be an opportunity for our speakers and presenters to answer your questions during today's session, sponsored by the Kenya Tourism Board. And without further ado, to open today's session, I would like to invite PATA CEO Dr. Mario Hardy to say a few words. Mario, over to you.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the world. And for those who are watching later, again, thank you for joining this session. The Dream to Travel Festival has been great. It's been going on for 2 weeks already. And we had the pleasure of traveling around Thailand, Malaysia, Catalonia, Spain, Bhutan, and today we will be traveling to magical Kenya. Kenya actually is a member of PATA, a really proud member of the organization. So it's a great pleasure to have them featured today and learn a little bit more about what's happening in Kenya currently with the current situation. Now in Asia, we've seen the reopening of domestic tourism over the last few weeks, and more and more people want to actually travel at the moment, limited to domestically in our respective countries. The regional travel is restarting gradually, and sadly, international travels or long-haul travel for most countries around Asia will most likely happen later in the year. So we may not be able to visit Kenya in the next few weeks, but hopefully in the coming months, we will have the opportunity to come and visit. In 2018, more than 69 million people visited the continent of Africa, which obviously is very large and comprises of many destinations across the region. 25% of those actually came from the Asia Pacific regions. And the African continent has seen a growth of 5% year on year in terms of visitor arrivals, which is very consistent to the rest of the world. Obviously, at the moment, very little travel to Africa and to other places in the world. But we're confident that over a period of time, as new protocols and guidelines are being put in place across various countries and on the airports and flights, we will gradually see travel coming again, and we certainly look forward to visit. Now, the interesting thing is, out of various surveys conducted by TripAdvisor, by PATA, by many other organizations, we have seen consistently responses from people that have a great desire to travel. We all want to escape our homes and our offices and go and travel into nature again. Sustainability is important. Cleanliness of the environment is important, of the places we stay and how we travel will be a very important criteria moving forward and where people decide to go and travel. Ecotourism has a great chance of actually picking up moving forward. Sustainability is as important as it was before and probably even more today. Countries like Kenya are ideal for future travel because, as I mentioned, people really have a great desire to escape in nature. Very few are actually wishing to travel to congested cities with heavy loads of traffic, but rather to actually go into the wilderness, into nature, and actually visit beautiful places that we are around the world. So I look forward to today's session to actually have a glimpse of what actually Kenya has to offer and inspire all of us to come and visit in the coming months. I hand over the microphone back to Paul. Thank you very much and enjoy today.
Thank you very much, Mario. Thank you very much, Mario. And And it's great to hear your thoughts on what's going on and around the region and how Asia Pacific and the continent of Africa, sort of the relationship between the two. Before we jump to the speakers, I just want to just go through a little bit of run order for introduce you to the speakers that we'll be having coming up. So first we'll hear from John Chirchir, the marketing manager for Middle East and Asia from the Kenya Tourism Board, as well as his colleague Fiona Gessa, business development manager at Kenya Tourism Board. That will then be followed up. We'll hear from our live stream from Damien Cook, the CEO and founder of eTourism Frontiers, who will be joined by professional safari guide Wycliffe Odera. And with that, I would like to invite John and Fiona to give an update on the destination of magical Kenya. Over to you, John and Fiona.
Thank you so much, Paul. Good afternoon, all those from Asia Pacific. We welcome you to this forum. We've noted that there are some who have joined in from Kenya, and we do welcome. We are very happy to be with you all at this time as we discuss about travel and the reopening of travel. And as we just wish to indicate that PATA is a great partner in this, and we thank you for the Dreams to Travel Festival, for which we're also inspiring travel to Africa and specifically Kenya in this case. Asia Pacific is a very important region for us because it contributes about 16% of arrivals into Kenya. And we have received visitors from India, China, Australia, Pakistan, Philippines, New Zealand, Taiwan, Nepal, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, South Korea, Vietnam, and others. And we wish to continue having this even in the new normal as we get to reopening of travel and relaxation of travel regulations. So in terms of new developments that have come up, yesterday there was an announcement by our Honorable Minister for Tourism and Wildlife that Kenya has received the Safe Travel Stamp of approval, for which now we are prepared to implement those safe health and safety protocols, for which our industry will be prepared so that we can receive visitors. This is timely because we are all discussing about reopening of economies, reopening of travels, and we wish to engage now with the markets in terms of developing programs that we can be able to sell widely within your region and beyond. So the Safe Travel Stamp is a great move for Kenya. It's a great position to be in, but we wish to partner in implementation within our Kenyan trade and yourself, depending on what the consumers want from your end. In Kenya at the moment, there's domestic travel happening, but very limited within localities that people can travel, because we have areas that are under lockdown, and everybody is waiting for next week because there will be guidelines advised by the Ministry of Health in terms of how to go, what will happen next. But should there be travel, then we are happy to go full blast and into marketing, but collaboratively with partners in the market. Quickly, in terms of visitors that have come to Kenya from across the region, we've seen couples, we've seen families, multi-generational, we've seen corporates, especially incentive travel, and group that have been booked before. And we hope that the new consumer will be able to reach them irrespective of what needs to be done. We wish to have the trade in the market, work with our trade and guide us in terms of what are their consumers looking for, so that we can be able to deliver those experiences very well. So key motivators for Kenya has been usually social status, relaxation, enjoying with family, and going to new places. Nostalgia for those who had come here before and now look to come again, especially on issues of bucket list for those who have heard about Kenya and the products that we have. Some wish to escape, and especially now, like Dr. Maria had indicated, people want to venture out. They are longing for travel and to connection with the world, all places that they will love. And finally, knowledge and enrichment for those who like to build on their knowledge, adventure, and all that. So with this, I wish to introduce my colleague Fiona to take us to the next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John and Paul. Welcome and Jambo. I trust you well. And thank you for this amazing opportunity given by PATA for you to discover a little bit about Kenya. Kenya is an ideal destination for those looking for nature, adventure, and culture. And it provides an amazing canvas that all the trade advisors can create amazing experiences for their clientele. Kenya has currently over 45 national parks, reserves, and sanctuaries where one can have intimate connection with nature. You also have diversity of wildlife that is actually incomparable. That's why if you look at Kenya, we are renowned the world over as the home of the original safari. Besides the numerous national parks and reserves that we have where you can enjoy the wildlife in nature in its natural form, we also have over 160 conservancies around the country. Here in these conservancies, there's also a lot for you to experience in terms of luxury, in terms of different types of safaris. Besides the game drive, you have the heli tours, you have horseback riding, camel riding, and then a number of other ways you can experience safari so that you have amazing, memorable experiences here in Kenya. Given that you are right at the equator, Kenya experiences mild weather throughout the year, meaning that you can plan your safari any time of the year. This is an all-year-round destination. Besides, after having your adventure and your safari, you also have over 500 kilometers of beach, all the way with unique personality from Lamu, Malindi, Watamu, Diani, and also Mombasa. So there's so much for people to discover here in Kenya. Then I like the fact that Dr. Mahadi had already talked about ecotourism and sustainability. Kenya has been at the forefront of this, and in 1996, it came up with the first eco-rating scheme in Africa. Right now, we have over 40 facilities that are already registered as gold rated, and this eco-rating scheme has already been agreed by the Global Sustainable Tourism criteria. So basically, we are ready to open up. When the world is ready to travel again, Kenya has what you need in terms of nature, in terms of adventure, in terms of sustainable and ecotourism facilities and destinations for you to explore. In addition, all the visitors that come to Kenya, when they go back, what they talk about is about the Kenyan people. Over 50 million of Kenyans are waiting to welcome you back into the destination. The rich culture that is available from north to south, west to east, there's a lot more to experience in Kenya. Even here, as you're preparing for travel to open up again, we are preparing a lot of amazing experiences that you can offer you and your clients when you come back. And then lastly, we can talk about Kenya, nature and wildlife being the mainstay of Kenya. And here the diversity is amazing. When you're curating the different experiences, I'm sure even as you're waiting for Damien for you to see with your own eyes what Kenya has to offer, there's a lot to pick from. So in short, basically Kenya is so much more, and there's a canvas for you to create anything and everything for a memorable experience for your client. Thank you very much. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you, Fiona. Now we're going to hear from out in the fields, our good friend Damien, alongside professional safari guide Wycliffe. Damien, can you hear me?
Absolutely, clearly. Paul, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Where are you? And tell us what you're doing. And I'll pass this over to you.
Thanks, Paul. Pleasure to be here, everybody. Those of you who have attended PATA forums and conferences in the past have heard me talking about the use of social media and technology in tourism and using virtual tourism. And I've often referenced my home here in Kenya as in terms of destinations. And it's a real pleasure to bring everybody here today to Kenya virtually. This is a project that we are working on, myself and my colleague Wycliffe Adera here, who'll be speaking shortly, to basically take the world on safari around Kenya. We did this in response to the corona situation. We knew we had a captive audience at home, literally. We wanted to keep those captive people captivated with fantastic travel content from all over Kenya. And not just single experiences or game drives or looking at wild animals, but taking them around the whole length and breadth of the country and a whole variety of experiences to show them what Kenya has, as Fiona and John have already mentioned. And really, when Dr. Hardy talked about the new travel, what people are looking for, nobody's really looking to go to congested cities anymore, particularly this year, particularly with the situation we're in. People are looking for freedom. People are looking for space. People are looking for nature. No better example of this if you're looking for natural social distancing than what you see behind you here. We're here at Laragai House on Borana Conservancy in northern Kenya. This is 34,000 acres of wilderness for this conservancy alone, just one of the conservancy's national parks and reserves that you can visit in Kenya. Huge amount of space, nature, warmth, sunlight, everything that you want for a healthy travel experience. And I do believe that these are the types of destinations that will see that first phase of traveler coming back to. And as Kenya opens up, we're more than ready to welcome people for these sorts of amazing wilderness experiences. But when you do come to Kenya, using a professional guide is very important, really understanding these experiences as you have them, the environment you're in, the wildlife you see, the cultural interactions that you have. And that's why guides are very important. So as we decided to use Facebook and Instagram and streaming technology to take people around the destination, we worked with one of the best guides here, a professional guide, Wycliffe Adera. He's a professionally qualified guide, and he's been interpreting the travel experience for people as we take them around. So I'll hand over to Wycliffe to talk a bit about some of the things that we've seen as we've been taking people on Magical Kenya Live. And please do keep following us on Magical Kenya's social media channels on Facebook and Instagram. It's hashtag Magical Kenya Live, so that you can see more of what we're doing as we continue traveling around the country for at least the next month. So I'll let Wycliffe talk about some of the things we've seen, some of the things we're going to be seeing, and how he's found it for the first time actually taking the whole world on safari as opposed to just one client. Over to you, Wycliffe.
Thank you very much, Damian. And thank you to everyone. Thank you to Pata for hosting us. And this is really amazing, and it's going to go a long way in ensuring that everyone who is stuck at home is enjoying the bush, is enjoying the wild, as we are together with Damian here. So my name is Wycliffe Adera, and I'm a professional safari guide. And for the last just over 1 month, we've been going around Kenya, bringing to you some of the magical Kenya bests. So we've been to places, we've seen wildlife, we've seen culture, we've gone through human history, we've gone to camel riding safaris, we've gone to horseback riding safaris, and today we are here, and it happened very well that we are at Laragai House inside Borana Conservancy, which is known for rhino protection and all other interesting conservation stories going on. So for us, it's not just to focus on wildlife only, but everything that is involved to make a good experience whenever you visit Kenya. So we've been learning cooking, some cocktail making, all the stuff that is involved in making sure that whenever you come here, you be very, very comfortable. And just today, we would have really loved to show you some wildlife, but unfortunately the sun is out and every wild animal is somewhere hiding for the hot sun. So maybe later in the day they will come out. So again, we just encourage you to follow us on Magical Kenya, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and turn on your notifications so that whenever we go live, because we don't mention when we are going live, but we always find interesting stuff whenever we are moving around, and we would like to share with you and just to bring to you the magical experiences. So this afternoon with me is Ben. And
just while you guys get set up, I'll explain. As Wycliffe mentioned, it is middle of the day here. We had to do this for the time differences for you guys. This is our hottest time of day, when the wildlife is relaxed and people tend to be relaxed as well. But I'm aware that it's the end of the day for many of you in Asia. It's heading towards the end of your attendance at the Dream to Travel Festival. And that's what we call Sundowner Time here in Kenya, when the sun's going down, and we traditionally have some cocktails as we watch the sun go down. So we're going to give you a Kenyan sundowner right now. Wycliffe and Ben here from Laragai House are going to make a drink together for you, so at least you can virtually have a drink with us here.
So with me here is Ben, and Ben is the barman to Laragai House. And usually whenever you come on safari, you want to end your day in a beautiful way. You have to, you want something relaxing, something really cool, smooth. And one of the cocktails we do make here is Bloody Mary, which is a signature cocktail for this particular property. And Ben is the expert. So he's going to take us through and just try to explain to us how it's made. so that you back at home also you can try and make the same and just have the safari experience that we are having here. Welcome, Ben.
Hi, Vienna. How are you? My name is Ben. Just want to make you special cocktail, Garden Maria. And when I'm going to start, I'm starting with a drop of pepper, bunch of pepper, and then a bunch of salt, horseradish sauce, Lee and Palace Worcester sauce, 3 drops, one shot of vodka, squeeze of lime, stir a little bit, and then tomato sauce, stir again a little bit, ice cubes, Tabasco sauce, then I stir a little bit, garnish with the lime. It's Blood Mary cocktail.
So guys, what Ben just made here is a nice, smooth, spicy drink that you would want to have when you are out, when you're back from viewing beautiful games, beautiful wildlife out here. And this is something that if you ever come here, you must have it. So I'll just go back to Damien to continue on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wycliffe. Come on in. We'll have a drink with all of you here. So as I mentioned, we're here at Laogai. It's a beautiful safari property, just indicative of the sorts of experiences you can have. I'll turn our camera around so you can get a little bit more of a view of where we are at the moment. And for those of you who are in marketing, who are looking at this from a destination marketing perspective, or even marketing your travel business, this has been a real learning experience for us. We've seen a huge amount of interaction on our live feeds of people asking questions, asking Wycliffe questions directly about the wildlife they're seeing, the experiences that we involve them in, and a lot of back and forth. I'd strongly recommend that everybody, those of you listening from the Kenya Tourism Fraternity, those of you part of members from all around the world, think about using this technology to virtually let people experience what you offer, so that you're top of mind as a destination, as a product, and you keep them engaged and get that first phase of travelers coming as our reopenings happen. As we travel around and be doing these live streams, we've also been producing films, shooting films as well for use in future campaigns for Kenya. I'm going to hand back to Paul now, maybe to take some initial questions while I rack up some of those clips. And when we come back, I'll show you some of the amazing things that we've seen as we've been traveling around the country. So Paul, back to you.
Thank you very much, Damien. I just want to ask, should we do the poll questions? I guess we have a poll question. Should we post those up now?
Yeah, why don't you do that, and we'll rack up some of the clips of things we've seen as we've been traveling around.
All right, so we have a poll questions, just 5 quick questions. We're going to post that now. If 4 attendees could quickly just give an answer. Yes, to the polls. Okay. Oh, you showed the answers? No. Oh, this is the poll. So please vote, or actually just please do make put your answers in. And as you're doing that, Just wanted to let everybody know that you can submit your questions to our panelists, Damien, John, Fiona, or even Wycliffe, just using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. Please do submit your questions there. I saw Ted put a question in there to our panelists, but I'll ask them. I will ask them later on when we come back to them. So please vote. Please, or I guess please not just answer the quick quiz. It's fairly short, just 5 questions. It'd be great to get some of your feedback on the questions here, especially as it relates to Kenya and Africa. All right. I'm not sure if Damien, are you all set on your end here? Need more time? And for those of you who are watching via Facebook, if you guys can't see the poll, Milan cannot see the poll. Go to at the bottom, you'll see a button. Can they see the button polling? No. No.
Paul, I'm ready. If you want me to get some of the clips while we're waiting for people to answer the poll, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Let's we'll pass it to you as you guys can go ahead and answer the poll questions. I'll pass this over to Damien to take us over from here. Damien, all to you.
Sure, I'll just share my screen as we share this. We wanted to show a wide variety of experiences in Kenya, as I said, not just wildlife, but also the connection of culture and community when it comes to travel as well. Particularly in having unique experiences and unique adventure experiences. And Fiona mentioned camel safaris, one of the real unique experiences you can have here in Kenya. So I'm just going to show you a little piece of the footage that we produced as we went and live streamed and worked with the guys from Karisia Camel Safaris in northern Kenya, which work with the Samburu community there to take people on the most incredible camel-based adventures. So let me show you a little bit what that looks like. I'll just share my screen. Is that clear, Paul? Can you see my screen?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay,
just make sure
now.
that, yes.
Cool.
Okay, all good.
So welcome to Karisia Camel Safaris, everybody. Enjoy.
The best thing in being at camel walking safari is that this is like a paradise whereby you can enjoy all sorts of adventure. Elephants, giraffe, the lions, and many other animals. And also it's part of exercise. I enjoy the camels because they are very friendly. They are very polite animals. They are just like human. And they are my friends. My name is Paul Silingi. I work as a guide at Karisia Walking Safaris.
So that's an example of one of the sorts of experiences you can have here that are way beyond a traditional wildlife experience. We also wanted to show people what awaits for them and what they could expect when they come to Kenya on a trip and what a full day may be like. So this is from an area called Lake Naivasha in Kenya, and this is a full day from dawn till dusk at Lake Naivasha. Enjoy. So that's just a glimpse of some of the experiences that you can have here when you come to Kenya. Paul, back to you. Do you have some poll results or questions you want to hand over to?
Yeah, why don't we end the poll and show the results of the poll here? It's the team over here. End it, and show the results. So, as you can see, most people here do both inbound and outbound. Just the smallest will be inbound to Asia Pacific, and I guess outbound and domestic are the next at 9%. Most people here are tour operators and or travel agencies, followed by accommodation, incentive, and aviation. Sorry, no, actually aviation and then incentive. No, sorry, no aviation, experience. Only 61%, 35% have visited Africa, 61% have not. And most here do either moderate and comfortable luxury or mid-markets in terms of consumer clientele. The next would be budget, and at 9%, we have luxury, high, and exclusive. Which state below would best express your client's travel sentiments? Still not sure, will not travel soon. And the next is 39% will travel for iconic products and experiences. Well, Kenya is an iconic product and experience, so maybe your customers are very interested in traveling to Kenya and Africa. And then the next would be willing to travel immediately if you had the right experience. So why not Kenya? Those are our results. Happy to share them with you guys all later if you ask. Oh, okay, so we did have one question here. As I said, if anybody has any questions, please use the Q&A function just below on the toolbar. And can I close this? I just shown. I guess one of somebody here was for the Kenya Tourism Board. Do you have clips tour agents in Kenya can share with their partners abroad? So I guess that's to the Kenya Tourism Board. Or Damien, do you guys have any clips that agents in Kenya can share with their partners abroad?
Absolutely. Before John jumps in, and we'll talk more detail about that, everything we're producing currently as part of Magical Kenya Live, you saw just 2 of the short films there. We're producing one of those every couple of days as we travel around the country. They're all on magicalkenya.com, on Magical Kenya's Facebook and Instagram accounts. We're sharing them as we travel. You're more than welcome to hit that share button and share those with you, and we're going to be continually producing those as we go. John will talk more about content they can share specifically with agents and operators. Over to you, John. John?
Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Paul. Yes, we do have content, but for now we are going to be more on social media because we like to sort of get what is on the ground, show it, and inspire people to travel. But there will be other videos which we can share with the trade for which they can send to their consumers to inspire them to travel, clarify, or do some sales pitch. Thank you very much.
I don't see any more questions from any of our attendees. So there's your chance, everyone. If you want to learn about Kenya or what Damien's doing out on the road out there, I've been following him on Instagram. He's done some really interesting things. Feel free to ask him. His most recent post was something about electric vehicles out in the safari. Is that correct, Damien?
Yep. If you follow Magical Kenya, if you follow Magic, feel free to follow me if you like, but follow Magical Kenya on Facebook and Instagram with the Magical Kenya live hashtag. You will see all this. Yes, just today we were talking about the safari operators who are starting to use electric vehicles for the first time across the country. And this makes a huge change to the safari experience. Wycliffe, do you want to talk about why an electric vehicle makes a huge difference from a petrol vehicle, apart from just the carbon emissions, but from a guiding standpoint?
So thank you very much, Damien. The main advantage of the electric vehicles is that you can easily sneak close to wildlife. Just get very, very close, get a closer look, and it's something that I would compare to walking in the nature. So it's not like something is roaring and scaring off animals, scaring off wildlife. It's something that you really sneak easily and just get view and get like an intimate position with the animal. And just as Damian has mentioned, the other thing is that you leave zero carbon footprint. So it's a good way to go, though it's a big investment, but it's surely a good way to go when it comes to conservation.
And you get to hear the birds too.
Yeah, yeah. You get to hear the nature. You get to, like I said, you get to get intimate with the nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, I think, Paul, while you're looking for questions, there's a question from a tour operator who happens to be here at the moment at Larragai with us, who was raising his hand physically and has a question. What would you like to ask us? Feel free to shout it out. Oh, he asked how the Bloody Mary tasted. Only one way to answer that. I expected a more track-related question, but there's another drinking-related question.
I could use one of those. Actually, we do have some questions here, so I'm going to shoot them over here. Mobile phone reception on Safari or internet on the Safari. How's that work, and what's the reception like?
Yeah, I mean, that's been one of our biggest challenges in bringing Kenya to the world, has been how this was going to work in terms of connectivity. And we've been pleasantly surprised. We've had support from one of our networks here, Safaricom, but we have found better network than we expected almost every place that we went. So definitely, if you're coming on Safari and you're worried about being disconnected, I know some of you might want to be disconnected and do a digital detox, but you don't have to have that enforced upon you. There is good internet connectivity. Where we are right now, as I said, in the middle of 34,000 acres of wilderness. We are connected online. We've been connected from Safari vehicles. We've been connected on foot. If any of you are following us on social media, we've seen yesterday that I was in a biplane flying around an area called Lewa near here in Mount Kenya, and we had perfectly good signal from inside that plane. So yeah, this is not an area where you're going to be disconnected when you come and travel. But what you will be is you'll be disconnected in terms of having this fantastic amount of space and the isolation of being here in the wild. And that's the best form of disconnection you can get.
What about some of the places like the hotels or I guess the tented camps you're staying at? There's Wi-Fi connectivity there? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's become the norm and that's become a standard. As I said, if people don't want it, of course, just switch that device off. But for those of you who need it, it's 100% here. Video streaming, uploading to your social media accounts, uploading video, no problem in the majority of places that we've seen on this safari, and I think majority of places in the country.
Okay, so here's the next question. When is the best time of the year to visit Kenya?
Wycliffe.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. So once again, Kenya has been traditionally known to be the home of migration in the Mara Serengeti ecosystem, but that really doesn't have to be like a barrier to make you decide on when exactly to come to Kenya. As you can see, we've been here and we've been going around Kenya, and there's just plenty of things to do. You can visit several places that you get wildlife all through the year, and in particular, the northern Kenya where we are right now, there's no specific time to visit. You can visit here anytime and you can get to see all the big five. And some
people may not know what the big five are. Please explain.
Yeah. So the big five is lion, elephant, buffalo, leopard, and the rhino. So northern Kenya, particularly where we are right now in Burana Conservancy, and also the Lewa Conservancy, they act as one ecosystem. And in here you can find plenty of rhinos, plenty of elephant. You find the Gravis zebra, which is quite endangered. You find reticulated giraffe. You find a variety of wildlife, and it's similar to all the other places that we've been all over Kenya. So it's only the Mara that dictates that you only be. It has been marketed that you only be there during the migration, but in real sense, you can be there any time of the year, and you'll be able to see. And in fact, if you ask me, I would really advise you to be there when it's less crowded than being there when it's the migration, when everyone comes in and it's crowded and it's not, you don't get that intimate experience like what we are looking for.
And just an example of some of those amazing wildlife experiences you can have at any time of the year. This morning we were out with the guys from Larragai here. This place is known for horse riding, and guys were out riding horses in this area. And in the space of this morning, they saw black rhino, highly endangered black rhino, and even lion from horseback. And there are expert guides here. That's not a dangerous thing to do, to take you out and have a safe and amazing experience seeing wildlife.
All right, thanks. We got two questions here from Julian. We'll get to both of them here. I'll go to Julian's first question. Is there any projections on when Kenya would be open to international tourists?
John? John?
John? I guess,
Yes, Paul.
Can you answer this question?
Thank you.
So the
Yes,
question is there any projections on when Kenya would be open to international tourists?
Right now, it's anticipation. We don't have a definite date, but given that we received the stamp of approval for safety travel by WTTC and UNWTO, we are geared up towards opening, and our trade have the protocols to guide them. So I would say we are expecting to resume soon. Also, there are guidelines by Ministry of Health, which we are expecting to be communicated next week. So by next week, we'll be able to communicate to the world on the way forward on that. Thank you. Over to you, Paul.
Okay. The second question from Julian is, do you night game drives there? I guess night safaris? I guess that's the question. Are there night safaris?
Yes, Paul. Several places, especially in the conservancies, we do have the night game drives. And it's something, that's another experience that you would experience whenever you visit Kenya. And it's only in the national reserves and national parks that it's not allowed. And that's because of other reasons to do with security. But when you come to conservancies like where we are right now, we are very much able. And in fact, last night we went on a night game drive. And there's plenty to see. There's several nocturnal animals that you only see at night. And that's another beautiful thing that you want to do when you come here. And you just have to visit one of these conservation areas, and that's very much possible.
Yeah, Wycliffe mentioned the big five, and the leopard is one of those that people really like to see, and probably the hardest to see of that five. And night is a really good opportunity to potentially see leopard, who are predominantly active during that time of the day.
Oh, cool. Interesting. This is an anonymous question here. Is there infrastructure for backpackers in Kenya? I guess the question would be more like, what is the infrastructure like? Especially, and just to add to that, I mean, what's the infrastructure like in terms of now with safety and hygiene being sort of top priority for a lot of travelers going forward? So can you just maybe update on that?
Absolutely. I mean,
Damien?
I can take that, and then John maybe wants to add to it, or Fiona. Certainly we've seen, like every destination, even before Corona, an increase in independent travel. People that are traveling independently, and a lot more involvement of individuals in planning their own travel experiences. We have always had infrastructure for backpackers and younger independent travelers here, but I think the way you define backpackers is changing. That sort of way of traveling has become higher budgeted and older demographic, and we are seeing more independent travelers planning their own travel. That can be a challenge in the safari environment, and that's where people contacting a safari operator who can put together a customized or bespoke itinerary for them and create a really independent, still independent, but managed and organized trip around the country as well. Because obviously you need access to remote areas like this. That can be hard to organize yourself, but there are certainly lots of people out there that can work with you to create an independent itinerary. John, do you want to add to that? John?
Yes, thank you, Damien. I just wish to add that, yes, there is infrastructure, depending on the motivations of the traveler and the budgets. There are online tools, their website can be able to sort of be inspired on what they wish to, where they wish to go on it. If they have enough budget, they can engage a tour operator to put it up together for them. But then we have organized buses that can be booked on the internet, and they can be able to locate guide levels who can be able to give them authentic experience that they wish to have And they can combine these also with formal, so the usual travel where now you go through a tour operator, specific safari, or offline on off the beaten track on a specific aspect or motivation. So those infrastructures are there, but the information is probably what needs to get to them, and that one is available. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I just followed up on the question before about when's the best time to visit Kenya. Yes, it can be done all year round, but are there any months to avoid?
Any months to avoid, Wycliffe?
All right, Paul, that's a challenging question because to me as a guide, I don't think there's really time to avoid Kenya. And Kenya is beautiful, everything. And depending on what you're looking for, Kenya, you can come here to see the landscape. You can come here to see the human history. You can come here to see the culture. Everything is just beautiful. And Kenya is rich in culture. So I would like to think that any time of the year, any month, you could travel here and you'll be able to just get the same experience as any other month.
And also don't forget, we also have our coast as well, which is kind of the opposite to some extent of upcountry. Some people might say no, October, November, that period is not so good. Upcountry is one of the best times at the coast. So there's always somewhere that it's the best time of year to visit in Kenya.
All right. And then another question from Julian. Do you do conservation programs that include tourists? Rhino notching, GPS tagging, I guess. Are there programs like that available for travelers?
Absolutely. And if you've been following us on Magical Kenya, you will have seen a huge amount of conservation-related travel that we've been doing on this particular virtual safari over the last month, and will continue to do. That is a huge area of interest for tourists and travelers. They want to know these wildlife they're seeing is conserved and protected, and more places are enabling tourists to not just contribute financially to that, but also to take an active role, volunteerism, or even just visiting with projects, meeting researchers, getting to talk to conservationists, really helps you increase your understanding of the animals, the ecosystem they're living in, and why it's vital that we protect all of that. Wycliffe, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so as Damian has mentioned, there's several conservancies that usually do invite volunteers to join them whenever they're doing something of the sort. Rhino tagging, notching, elephant tagging, all that stuff. So again, if you get to work with these particular conservancies, they can let you know what they are doing on which particular time, and when they are taking the volunteers, or whenever you can visit and just join them whenever they're going on their daily operations on their conservation work.
And as an example of that, and it's why conservancies play an important role here too, just in this area alone, this conservancy and its neighboring conservancy, this ecosystem alone supports 109 white rhino and 92 critically endangered black rhino as well, just in this area. And they're protected through this conservancy, which is predominantly supported by tourism. Paul?
Still on mute. Thank you so much for your questions, for your answers. It's great to hear from you, Damien. I haven't spoken to you in a while, but been following you. And thank you very much to the Kenya team. Do you guys have any last comments? Any last words before we leave you?
Before KTB jumps in to give their final words, I just tell everybody watching to stay online this afternoon, following Magical Kenya on Facebook and Instagram. This afternoon, we're going to be showing you what it's like to eat at a property like this one at Larugai and other properties through Kenya, and some of the amazing food that we have available. We're going to actually be giving you a cooking lesson this afternoon that Wycliffe will be doing with some of the chefs here at Larugai. We're going to be preparing a beautiful lunch, and you're welcome to join us online, take part and learn how to make that dish.
Well, can you give a tease of what that dish is? Any idea of what that?
Well, this Larugai here actually has its own garden. It's very much farm to table. So we'll be taking some healthy, fresh ingredients from the garden and preparing that with some duck marinated with local ingredients, including wild honey from this area. So please do join us to learn how to make that.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you. And from KTB team, any last words, Fiona or John?
Paul,
Before
thank
wrap
you.
up the session.
Thank you, Paul. thank you for this amazing opportunity. I'm sure within the just very few minutes, you've been able to see what Kenya has to offer. Kenya is so much more, and it's a canvas that you can create any memorable experience for your client. And so as a final word is to tell you, Karibu Kenya. We are waiting for you as the world is ready to open up and travel again. Kenya is ready, and we are here to welcome you to back home. Kenya is the cradle of mankind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fiona. John, would you like to have any last words before I wrap this up?
Yes, Paul, thank you. Thank you also to Dr. Mario. We really appreciate this platform and opportunity you gave to us. As you are told to stay home and flatten the curve of reduced spread of coronavirus, now we've come up with protocols where we think we are going to go out. So we are waiting for you. We invite you to Kenya. Follow us in the links, social media links that Emin has mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, and be able to see what is happening in Kenya and connect also with our trade, some of who are on this platform right now, to get know more or what you expect, and reach out to us if you need anything. Thank you very much.
Mario, I saw you pop back in. Did you want to say some last words, or
Just want to say thank you to Kenya Tourism Board, to Damien and the team, and the guides who gave us a great experience and inspiring us. Certainly, Damien, you whet our appetite with the meal, but also with the beautiful views and the wildlife you got behind. So I look forward to my next visit to Kenya. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you, Damien, Wycliffe, Fiona, and John. I'm just gonna do a quick wrap up here of what to expect for our sessions tomorrow. So if you guys can stay on, or you guys can turn your cameras and off, up to you. But let me just share my screen. Oh, sorry. Okay, so everyone, I just want to first of all thank again KTB for allow us in to see a bit of a magical Kenya, and for actually organizing today's live experience for all of you. Any other questions, you can always email me at paul@pada.org. Fairly easy to remember. Any questions about today's session or any of the other sessions we've had over the past few days. You can also share this session on Facebook. It is currently being broadcasted live on our Facebook page. So any of your friends who missed it, you can share it with them. Of course, follow Kenya on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Just for tomorrow, we have a couple of things tomorrow. We have a youth fireside chat with Ben Liao, the chairman at Forte Hotel Group. And he will be talking about our focus on hospitality, technology, and how to be courageous when facing new beginnings. Later that afternoon, we'll have a live experience at 1 p.m. It's cooking demo Malaysian cuisine with Chef Ismail and review by Reese William, food blogger. Experience local delicacies in Malaysia directly from Ribung restaurant owned by the famous chef Dato Ismail Ahmad. And it's brought to you by Tourism Malaysia. And then we're going to close the day out with a pub quiz by Tourism Malaysia. You'll watch a video, and then you get to test how much you know about what you saw in the video. Special giveaway prizes are being provided by Tourism Malaysia. Oh, and there's Damien's dog. Hey, buddy. And I know from today's quiz, the prizes were fantastic. So do join the pub quiz at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And with that, I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye to Damien and everyone over there in Kenya. And bye there, puppy. Take care. Bye, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Fiona.
Thank you.
All right, take
Bye.
care.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.